we don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll.
I hear every day about the products you all wish MyPillow carried. Well, guess what? We probably do. Slippers, bathrobes, pet beds, blankets, mattresses, sleepwear, loungewear, duvets, comforters, pot holders, aprons, oven mitts, and so much more. And they're all on sale. For example, get our best-selling standard MyPillows for only $14.98. Body pillows, $29.98. 6-piece bath towels or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase, $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bedsheet sets. Any size, any color, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And I've never done this before. When you spend $100 or more, you're going to get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
That's right, folks. Absolutely free. Welcome back to the Oreo Express. Make sure you head over to MyPillow.com. Check out Mike Lindell's awesome selection at MyPillow. And when you use promo code Oreo, you don't only help out a Patriot company and a Patriot and Mike Lindell, but you help us out here at the Oreo Express. So go check them out. There's a lot of things on their website. And again, we got to support companies that support us, right, guys? Welcome. It is, what is it? Tuesday, June 24th already. Man, we're getting through this month, aren't we? We got some stuff to talk about today. We're going to have 2 shows, obviously. They're having some hearings on Capitol Hill. We'll cover a little bit of that now and more in our later show. Trump going off on fake media. I love it. I love it when Trump goes off on the fake media. Yesterday we had a ceasefire deal. It looked like both Iran and Israel were trying to cross the boundaries. Trump put out a warning this morning, and hopefully that ended. I think we'll know here in the next couple days how this is going to play out. But we're going to talk about all that and more. Let me jump into the chats really quick. Trina's in the house, says, hugs, Josh. Sugar Bear, how are you? Hunter is in the house. Old Uncle Bill, they let him out again. They let him out. Micro Taz, how are you doing, Micro Taz? Nola's in the house. Let's see. Pixie, you know what that means, guys. Pixie's in the house. Cuss Jar's out. It's going to cost you. K Texas driving along. Howdy, everybody. Have a great show. Thank you, K Texas. Let's see who else we got here. B Mikey in the house says, hello, Oreo Army, JH Candy Bar. Let me get down here to the bottom. Texas Real Woman is in the house. Check that out. Smurfette is in the house. Fairness 2020. Miss Hayes, how are you? And Kimber in the house. Again, thank you guys. If you would hit that like button, share this out. We're going to be going over some stuff, some crazy stuff, show you some Clown World stuff. Check this out. This was a brawl at Coney Island Beach in New York City on Monday. When I see this stuff, I just think, and don't get me wrong, there's always been fights going on in the world and everything else, but it's just different now. It's just different now. When it wasn't really taboo to get in a fight. If you were a man back when I was growing up, it's kind of how you settle difference. You never kick somebody when they're on the ground, and it wasn't all this thuggerish. Take a look at this video right here. Let me refresh it. I'm telling you, I've never wanted to be a cop. I wouldn't mind being an investigator, you know what I mean? But to go out and have to do street beat cop stuff, I just couldn't do it. I don't know how they do it. It's almost impossible for them to do their job anymore. Crazy stuff. And then we got an update. Back in October of 2024, Libs of TikTok, and we covered this when they posted it, put this down there, this post, and it says, absolutely evil. Renee Hoberman, a child's therapist from Long Island, New York, was arrested last week for the distribution of child pornography. And there's an update now. It says Long Island child therapist Renee Hoberman pleads guilty to distribution of videos of infants being raped. Hoberman admitted to using social media to upload, receive, and trade digital videos depicting minors, including several videos of infants being physically restrained or raped by an adult male as the infants cried and screamed. I just want to say this, and this is it's a bad area we're in, but I think about this all the time. Who do you trust, right? You have to keep your circle close. I mean, this right here is a child therapist. So think about this. If for some reason your child's suffering from something and it needs to go to a child therapist, the first thing you want is you want to be peace of mind and ease to know that, hey, if I take my kid there, they're in a safe place around safe people. That is just not the case. That is not the case anymore. And I think it's really scary what we are dealing with. And I don't care where it's at. Caden yesterday went to, he has 2 days of summer camp. It was yesterday and tomorrow. So we called it school for him. So he was so excited to go to school. And even though it wasn't school, it was just a summer camp. It was on a Clovis Unified campus. In my mind, I had anxiety. I did. I was like, man, there's no telling what these volunteers, who they are, what they're doing. And I get it. I will never raise my kids in a bubble. They will be very street smart. They will always be doing stuff. But we just got to be aware. And there's no way to know ahead of time, right? Just imagine if you were one of those parents that took your child to see this person. Imagine you're wondering, what did that person discuss with my child? What don't I know? It's just absolutely crazy. But when he did get home from school yesterday, he goes, he did some crafts and stuff, and he made a dinosaur. And he goes, Daddy, you want to put this dinosaur in your office? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, where do you want it? And I go, oh, you know what? I'm going to put it right back here on the wall so everybody can see it when I'm doing my live. And he comes back and goes, no, Mama said she wants it in the living room. I was like, Dad, always last, always last. Check this out. This was a video, I believe, from yesterday. A governor of Maine, Janet Mills. I think we had some stuff yesterday. We talked about Maine and the wokeness and just, God, I don't know. I don't think we have any, I don't see viewers ever jump into our chat and say, I'm from Maine. Probably because they're all crazy leftists. Well, not all of them. The governor got booed in her hometown. Take a look at this.
All right, listen. Go ahead, go ahead. We're glad to be here. Welcome to Farmington, Maine. I'm pleased to be here. This is my hometown, my turf. Keep it up. I'm not reading your name. All right, listen. Go ahead, go ahead.
So, I guess some of the people, and then there was another video here. It says that, you know, she was booed by her own constituents in her hometown of Farmington. This was Saturday. They didn't like that she wants men in women's restrooms. And take a look at this right here.
I'm not going to read any names until you quiet down, because one of the things I did. We're not reading any names until you quiet down.
You'll be online tonight. You'll be online.
You'll be online.
2 points for that guy, right? That started all that. Isn't that the governor that Donald Trump called out in, was it the Oval Office? Because she didn't want to abide, follow federal law, keeping men out of women's sports. Yeah, I think so. Check this out. So you know what a lot of this problem with the Democrats, we're going to go back to the Iran strike, where Donald Trump took out our military under Donald Trump's orders took out 3 nuclear sites in Iran. And I've kind of been, I try to read between the lines a lot of times, try to figure out, why did this person change their perspective here? You know what it really is? Democrats were upset because they weren't part of it. A lot of them didn't have a problem with this, but they wanted to be able to take credit. They wanted to say they were part of this. Listen to Ghetto Fabulous herself.
And to understand enough about the Constitution to the extent that I'm the one that's supposed to make a fucking decision.
She's the one that's supposed to make the effing decision. Oh, come on. All I did was pause it. What's going on? Looking at all the numbers. We should be good.
Understand enough about the Constitution to the extent that I'm the one that's supposed to make a fucking decision, or at least get a vote.
That's what they are upset about, folks. That's what they are upset about. It was extremely successful. Nobody was injured. We have a top tier military, and they did a top tier job. And they can't bash Trump. The plan was epic. Just to let you know, I was listening to a podcast last night of Glenn Beck, and he was talking about some of the preparations, and I didn't know all this, but this has been in the works, in the plans for over 15 years. We even built in the deserts of the United States a replica of their nuclear facility to test out our own bombs, to see if they could penetrate deep enough. And we've been doing this for 15 years. The sole purpose for that bomb and the development of that bomb was specifically these nuclear sites. I didn't know that. I thought that was really interesting. So it's something that many other presidents could have done, and probably wanted to do, but didn't have the balls to do it. Let's finish this.
Because Ron is telling me.
Right.
So literally, like
She wanted to make the effing decision. And you know what's funny is Trump said the F word today, and people are outraged. Outraged. We're going to play the video. I think it was appropriate for the times. And again, I try not to, you know me, I try not to. I don't care what other people do. I try not to. I used to cuss a lot. I used to be a sailor. I've gotten better. I still slip a lot. But it's funny when Eric Swalwell or somebody else from the Democratic Party start dropping F-bombs and other stuff like that. It's just totally appropriate. So again, after the ceasefire, there was still actions going on. Trump truthed out this post, and it said, Israel, do not drop those bombs. If you do it, it is a major violation. Bring your pilots home now. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States, acting like daddy. And for right now, it's quiet. It's quiet on the war front. It's quiet on the war front. So we're gonna play it out, see how things go tonight. Hopefully, we can end that and move forward. Again, that don't mean we trust Iran. That don't mean Iran's our buddy. But you know what I like about Trump, and this is smart with anybody, that old saying, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. And he's done a good job with that with Putin. He knows Putin is an alpha male. He knows Putin will has a lot more power than people want to give him credit for. And Trump does keep him at shoulders linked, but he also kind of, I guess you could say, pats his ego like, oh, no, you're fine, in order to get his way on certain things. Now, a lot of people over the last, since the strikes happened, this ends it, MAGA's done, the Republicans didn't want this and everything else. I thought this was an interesting poll on CNN. Because people were saying Trump just lost 80% of his base. And I was like, I'm not a single issue voter. I'm not. Overall, Trump is going to do some things that I disagree with. And if, a hard line in the sand, if Trump wanted to lose me, he would reopen up the border. He'd say, you know what, we were wrong. I would not be a Trump supporter. I think the border and illegal aliens is the most critical issue we face in this country. I meant to pull up an article in this show, and I'll talk about it when we get to the border and the craziness. But check out this CNN poll.
Yeah, I think there's this idea, okay, maybe the MAGA base wouldn't necessarily like this. Look, this is Donald Trump's Republican Party. That's what I think is so important to note. GOP on the U.S. airstrikes in Iran, 76% in the average of the two polls approve, compared to just 18% who disapprove. Now, I will note that is a bit higher than Donald Trump's disapproval rating within the Republican Party. But overall, Republicans are with Donald Trump on this. Tucker Carlson be darned. The bottom line is he does not speak for the majority of the Republican base. The majority of the Republican base is with Donald Trump.
I wouldn't expect anything else. I wouldn't expect anything else. The media has been playing a major role in trying to, when I say media, I mean legacy media. So the failing legacy media, they've been doing a lot to try to put fake news out there. We're covering daily of videos that they're cutting or editing out our ICE agents and their operations to make the ICE people look like bad guys. Again, the same thing they did with Trump, they're doing with our law enforcement now. If you remember when Trump was running just months even weeks up to the election. He's a Nazi. He's holding, he's doing a Nazi rally at Madison Square Garden, all these things. ABC, CBS, they were putting up images of Hitler next to Trump, trying to just get into the minds, what the CIA has done for a long time, just to get into the minds and say, this person is bad. We don't want this person. This is who you're electing if you vote for Trump. It all backfired. Take a listen to this, though, because speaking of legacy media and fake news,
CNN is scum, and so is MSDNC. They're all. And the fake news, like CNN in particular, they're trying to say, well, I agree that it was destroyed, but maybe not that destroyed. You know what they're doing? They're really hurting great pilots that put their lives in the line. CNN is scum, and so is MSDNC. They're all. And frankly, the networks aren't much better. It's all fake news, but they should not have done that. Those pilots hit their targets. Those targets were obliterated, and the pilots should be given credit. They're not after the pilots, they're after me. They want to try and demean. Do you believe that Iran can rebuild its nuclear program? Iran will never rebuild its nuclear. From there? Absolutely not. That place is under rock. That place is demolished. The B-2 pilots did their job. They did it better than anybody could even imagine. They hit late in the evening. It was dark with no moon, and they hit that target with every one of those things, and that place is gone. But when I see CNN all night long, they're trying to say, well, maybe it wasn't really as demolished as we thought. It was demolished. You take a look at the pinpricks, and you see that place is gone. And I will say, I think CNN ought to apologize to the pilots of the B-2s. I think that MSDNC ought to apologize. I think these guys really, these networks and these cable networks are real losers. You really are. You're real losers. You're gutless losers. I say that to CNN because I watch it. I have no choice. I got to watch that garbage. It's all garbage. It's all fake news. But I think CNN is a gutless group of people. And the people that run it, nobody even knows it's been sold so many times. But the people that run it ought to be ashamed. MSDNC, a guy named Brian Roberts, he heads it. He's a disgrace. He's a weak, pathetic disgrace.
tell me how you really feel. I think that's what a lot of us have been saying over the years, right? Trump's been saying it over the years. Again, the legacy media, the fake news that is dying. And as soon, I've been praying for this and pray for this, when they stop Big Pharma from advertising on television, only 2 countries in the world allow it. We need to get rid of that because, again, Big Pharma is a big propaganda booster when it comes to advertising dollars. I don't know if that will change CNN. I don't know. I don't think so. Again, when we talk about TDS or we just talk about the derangement syndrome in general, it is a mental illness, you know, and we go out there and we're in the faces of these people that are out on the streets that have been pretty much brainwashed by the legacy media. And it's sad because a lot of them believe it. When we were out at the Tesla protest and you had 90-year-olds out there in wheelchairs that couldn't even get up to walk, it's because of what they're hearing that, oh, they're going to give my Social Security to Elon. It's crazy. And I will say this is how quick short-term memory we have in America. You hardly hear anything about Elon. You hardly hear anything about Tesla anymore. It's almost like it never happened. It's like Democrats, they just pour fuel on a fire. Oh, next fire. What can we, gaslight the American public about now? I don't even want to know what it's going to be next week, but I'm sure we're going to be covering it. I'm sure it's going to be fun and good stuff. Check this out. This is where Trump dropped the F-bomb. Take a listen to this. It has to do with Israel and Iran. It's almost like he's playing daddy right now. Take a listen.
Israel says that Iran violated the peace agreement and the ceasefire agreement. Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Oh man, well, look at his face when he says this.
So long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Somebody give that man a mic drop right there. I want to tell you this right here. He's frustrated. He's frustrated. He's tired of these, you know, again, not defending one or the other, but we've talked about Netanyahu before. Netanyahu's very similar to a Bush when it comes to war. I think he likes war, and I supported Israel when it came to what happened with the Hamas terrorists. I think they should obliterate anybody that does that to them. I don't think we can coexist with many of those folks that come out of Gaza. I don't think they're innocent civilians. They hate America. They hate our Western culture, and they hate everything about us. But Trump right there, I'll play that one more time right at the end.
Perhaps by mistake that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
You know what? I think Israel, if they play the game against Trump, they will find out. I don't think they want to do that. I could see that will be the next thing. As Trump says, we're done supplying Israel with any defense stuff. If they want to keep doing this, and Democrats, oh, Trump is trying to destroy Israel now. It will be funny to watch Democrats defend that. And there's some interesting things. AOC came out and said she wanted to impeach Trump, that he violated the Constitution, which he did not. He's dropped 1% of the bombs that Barack Obama did without declaring war. Again, the hypocrisy speaks louder. But I just want to show you this fool. I don't know how people like this get elected. Rep. Al Green, the token, I guess. He was the guy when Trump made the address 2 months ago that wouldn't sit down and had to be escorted out. I can't think of how many times. I can't think of how many times that this man has came up for to file articles of impeachment over our lifetime, but it's been quite a few. Miss Hayes says, I guess we need to deposit to the cuss jar. That's right. Everybody got to put in for Trump's F-bomb, guys. Thank you, Miss Hayes. Thank you for all your supporters. And Miss Hayes, you are also entered in right now to our raffle that we will be doing on Friday. Maybe earlier, as soon as Wednesday night, Thursday morning, if we end up heading out of town. We'll know more soon. Well, here he is again, guys.
Name, Mr. Speaker, and still I rise. And I rise today in the name of government of the people, by the people, for the people. I rise today because our country is nearing a moment of decision. I rise because we are at the intersection of democracy and autocracy. I rise to announce that at this moment in time, I have filed HRES 537. HRES 537 is a privileged resolution. HRES 537 has been filed because I believe that the President of the United States has committed an impeachable act. H-Res 57 addresses abuse of presidential powers by disregarding the separation of powers, devolving American democracy into an authoritarian government, usurping congressional power to declare war.
So there you have it. I didn't know we declared war. I know you had people out there trying to make this something it wasn't. And we covered yesterday how many times that just in Obama's last year in office, was it 2,600 bombs dropped, missiles launched? Yeah, the hypocrisy goes deep. Jay keeps asking, says, okay, I'm in. $10 Rumble rant. Thank you. Jay keeps asking. You were also entered into that wonderful raffle we will have. Thank you very much. Listen to AOC here. This was this morning. Remember, she came out and said we need to impeach Trump, and she doesn't sound so confident in that. And then we'll show you a tweet or a truth that Trump put out.
Said that it was a war, and I think that the President of the United States admitting that he unilaterally brought the United States into a war without congressional approval is a very grave public admission. It is illegal, it is unconstitutional, and so for me, while the president is posting something about a ceasefire, I think what he also posted was an official acknowledgement that this was war. And I think that is something that should be taken into very serious consideration.
She stuttered a lot. She stumbled over her words. She knows she's going to be made look like a fool. Now let's check this out. Donald J. Trump truthed this out. And it says, stupid AOC, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, one of the dumbest people in Congress, is now calling for my impeachment, despite the fact that crooked and corrupt Democrats have already done that twice before. The reason for her ranting is all the victories that the USA has had under the Trump administration. The Democrats aren't used to winning, and she can't stand the concept of our country being successful again. When we examine her test scores, we will find out that she is not qualified for office, but nevertheless far more qualified than Crockett, who is a seriously low IQ individual, or Ian Omar, who does nothing but complain about our country, yet the failed country that she comes from doesn't have a government, is drenched in crime and poverty, and is rated one of the worst in the world, if it's even rated at all. How dare the mouse tell us how to run the United States of America? We're just now coming back from that radical left experiment with Sleepy Joe, Kamalo, and the auto pin in charge. What a disaster it was. AOC should be forced to take a cognitive test that I just completed at Walter Reed Medical Center as part of my physical. As the doctor in charge said, President Trump aced it, meaning I got every answer right. Instead of her constant complaining, Alexandria should go back home to Queens, where I was also brought up, and straighten out her filthy, disgusting, crime-ridden streets in the district she represents and which she never goes to anymore. She better start worrying about her own primary before she thinks about beating our great Palestinian senator, crying Chuck Schumer, whose career is definitely on very thin ice. She and her Democrat friends have just hit the lowest poll numbers in congressional history. So go ahead and try impeaching me again. Make my day. My dad used to love that saying. My dad used to go ahead, make my day. Trump, again, we're seeing this time and time again. With Trump, it's like water off a duck's back. I think he loves these retaliatory strikes on him. I think it gives him something to do when he's, he's dealing with a lot of serious issues. He's in these security briefings. He's doing this. He's trying to work on trade. He's doing all this. I think that's his escape. I really do. And I think he wins at it every time. Every time. So check this out. He was on got aboard his plane, and the press asked him a question. And I just loved the response. I don't know if he was meaning to be a smartass or not, but take a listen to this. Oh, do I got to refresh? 5, 4, 3, 2.
Do you think you'll meet with Zelensky when you're there?
Yeah, probably. I'll see him. Yeah.
What would you say to him?
Say, how you doing? It's tough.
Do you think you'll meet with Zelensky while you're there? Yeah, I'll probably run into him. What will you say? How you doing? Oh my God. Like, that's probably got to be one of the most difficult things being President Trump. And not that it bothers him, but just the annoyingness and how stupid the questions are that legacy media asks. I mean, unless you're Joe Biden, then you get to talk about your favorite flavor of ice cream and all the softball questions. But like, well, what are you going to say to him? Well, hi, how you doing? I just think it's great. Trump also truthed this out. Iran will never rebuild their nuclear facilities. That came out because, again, all the fake news and everything else. I wanted to play this. We're probably going to cover more on our second show. We got an epic video I got to show you, one that fired me up. I saved it yesterday and I didn't watch it. And today, it's when we get to talk about the fall of California, the destruction of California. We're going to bring up a hearing. And when you want to know why California is so horribly ran and everything, it's going to show you that. But in our next show, we'll probably give you some more stuff from the hearings that went on in Capitol Hill. But I just wanted to show you this one here.
Guidelines that would open
where
cons.
Senator Murray just got absolutely destroyed by Doug Collins, the Secretary of Veteran Affairs. Because, again, a fake news article came out to The Guardian that everybody ran with, that's saying they can now deny you care based on your marriage status and your political affiliation. Stupid, right? Nobody believed it. I laughed at it. I didn't even tweet about it. Take a listen to this. He destroys her.
A discussion regarding your decision to modify VA provider guidelines that would open the door to discrimination. You struck the words age, national origin, politics, marital status, and disability from the anti-discrimination policy that was applied to our VA hospitals and our clinics. When you changed the guidelines and removed the words making clear when discrimination is not tolerated, what you actually signaled to veterans across the country that they may be actually denied the care that they need. So, Mr. Secretary, if you insist these categories are already covered by federal law, and therefore your changes do not provide openings for discrimination, will you commit then to reinstating the previous policy?
Senator, this is exactly what, and I appreciate you taking my own words, because it's about time that somebody up here actually decided that they were not going to continue to repeat false things that keep people and veterans from actually trusting the VA. And by bringing this up again, which was a Guardian article, which, by the way, 2 major publications, the Post and Times, others who looked into this said there's nothing there. But the Guardian, who wanted clickbait, decided to run with something, and then it was amplified, is scaring veterans. And if they're concerned, because also understand something. No, let me finish this, because this is important. Because I've been accused of this. It's not scaring. Nothing was changed that actually affected it. This is the problem we're seeing. Title 5 USO Code 2302 prevents discrimination based on marital status, political affiliation. 7102 participation rights and barring interference with those rights, all there. VHA Directive 1019 governing all medical services provided by VA and prohibits discrimination on the basis of marital status or political affiliation. There's nothing changed. By the way, our bylaws also don't say that we have to feed our patients 3 times a day. Should we put that in there specifically?
Well, Mr. Secretary.
No, I'm not going to let you get away with this.
I'm going to tell. I have the floor for a second.
No, I mean,
let me just
you're not
tell
being
you
truthful with this.
I am. What I'm telling you is what veterans hear and what Americans hear. Please listen. When you take.
So what veterans hear is fake news articles from The Guardian that Democrats, many of them, retweeted and pushed the false propaganda out. Now she wants to talk about her own false propaganda and saying it's scaring veterans?
Something out, it says that's been eliminated, period.
No, it does not.
Well,
only when you have a cheap magazine like The Guardian who wants to put it out there and put it in a position and then have actually people of your stature and others who amplified it. How can it be that something that doesn't change anything, that fact checkers have already said doesn't change anything?
Okay, your position is it doesn't change anything.
It doesn't.
I hear you.
There is no position. It is the fact.
Well, do you think it's possible to be eligible for care and still be discriminated against when you try to access health care?
No one is discriminated against at the VA. And by simply repeating that could keep somebody from getting the critical mental health care that they need. And that would be on you and anybody else that wants to repeat it.
Amen.
Well, Mr. Secretary, in fact, many of us have heard from women veterans.
Then did you help correct them?
Mr. Secretary.
Did you help correct them? Or did you rely on the line?
Did you? You took the word.
I did.
I've been
on TV. I've been on TV. I put out videos. I've done everything because of a false article. I cannot believe we're still going down this route.
Well, I can believe
it's amazing.
I can believe it when you take words out that people hear them and I'm telling you that, Mr. Secretary. I'm simply telling you when you took those words out, people heard it in a specific way. Therefore, I'm asking you, why don't you put them back in?
No, they heard it in a specific way because a reporter who looked for clicks decided to write an article that he knew was false.
Again, I have heard from women veterans about experiences, which is why I have.
Do you have an example that you can give to me? Because I'll make sure it's corrected. Nobody is to be discriminated against.
If you're going to call each individual woman in the country and tell them they're not going to be discriminated.
There's not every woman in the country that's done.
Absolutely destroyed. Absolutely destroyed. And this is what fake news does cause panic and fear. We just talked about the 90-year-old that probably hadn't got out of her house in months, but was at a Tesla protest because CNN and MSDNC told them that they were going to lose their Social Security and Medicaid or Medicare. Not the truth. Not the truth. So far from the truth. But Democrats wanted to scare them. Why? Because who's losing their medical coverage? Illegal aliens and people with the ability to get off their damn couch and work. Simple. Simple. But again, they want to keep pushing out this rhetoric, having people scared that, oh my God, because I'm a Democrat, I can't get medical coverage from the VA. These people, they're horrible people. They are beyond horrible people. Now, I wanted to put this up. There was also another hearing with Jerome Powell, the Fed chair. And I think we know that, and we've covered it extensively when he's come out and not cut interest rates, that it's all speculation. Other countries are cutting interest rates. We're doing far better than all projections under Trump's economy. They have to say, well, surprisingly enough, interest rates are the lowest they've been in 4 years. All the things that we look for that signify a wonderful economy is happening under Trump. Listen to the Economic Council Director, Kevin Hassett, and then I'm going to let you listen to something else.
Is there any reason for the Fed not to cut rates now?
Cut rates right now. If you look at it, inflation is the lowest it's been by any measure for more than 4 years. And there's absolutely no excuse other than partisanship for the Fed not to cut rates.
Partisanship. Now, he was asked some questions in a hearing today, and just listen to this. Listen to this.
Anyway, I'd be happy to continue this with you.
This man is trying to make Trump's economy look more unstable. If he cut interest rates, that does a lot for not only you, the taxpayer, we are refinancing our debt. If they cut rates, we get to refinance that at a lower rate, which saves you, the taxpayer, money. Let's not even put that on the table. Homes. You get a lower interest rate on homes. More people are able to afford homes. Car payments. Your car payment goes down when you refinance or buy a new car. All these things that are punishing the American people is because this is a Democrat operative. Take a listen.
I mean, I think there's no recession. That's been established. There's no, or certainly not as what some had been projecting. Yet there seems to be higher than expected, or certainly desired, interest rates for many of us. And I'm curious how high interest rates, they hurt Americans who are paying car loans, credit cards, mortgages. Just this morning, you had FHFA Director Pulte asking for lower interest rates, which would obviously impact home buyers as well. So what is it that's keeping, in your mind, the Fed from what many of us believe is the right thing to do, which is to lower some interest rates, and by the way, match what the Bank of Canada, Bank of England, the European Central Bank, the Swiss Central Bank, a number of emerging central banks, by the way, that's your own assessment on page 33, as where you're laying that out. Why aren't we doing what the rest of the world is doing? Is it because we're at full employment? Is it because of those tariffs concerns that you said weren't part of the analysis? Was it energy, groceries, durable goods? Why?
So you're right that if you just look in the rearview mirror and look at the existing data that we've seen, you can make a good argument that that would call for us to be at a neutral level.
He admits it right there. Listen, if you look in the rearview mirror, he's had months after months to cut this. Every month he projects that something bad's going to happen. And so because of that, we're going to leave the interest rates alone. Listen to him.
Which would be, a couple of cuts or maybe more kind of thing. The reason we're not is the forecast by all professional forecasters that I know of on the outside and the Fed do expect a meaningful increase in inflation over the course of this year.
They expect it. It's not here. And Trump even stated this before. Well, if you want to counter inflation, then you lower it now. And if we get inflation, you raise the interest rates back up. Let's not forget, this man dropped the interest rates in October because the election was coming up to signal the economy's getting better. The economy has not been better than it is right now under the whole Biden presidency. But because we had an election coming up and he wanted to signal to the world that, hey, the policies that, the Biden inflation and all that, that's good. That's good. I'm going to lower the interest rate. Since that election, since Trump's been in office, has not lowered the interest rate once.
When I said we weren't going to talk about tariffs and inflation, that was to say until we see what the policies are. And so now we know a lot more. It's 6 months since I said that. So anyway, I'd be happy to continue this with you.
That man is doing a lot of long-term damage to this country. I thought this was interesting because the left is taking this and trying to spin it. One of the grifter accounts for the Democrats says, in a stunning moment, Fed Chair Jerome Powell just said that the Fed would have cut interest rates if not for Trump's tariff. Trump tariffs are to blame for rising costs. You hear what they just said? They are holding Trump hostage on his tariffs. That's what this admits to. Take a listen.
We're going to continue to adapt as the data adapt. But that is if you just look at the basic data and don't look at the forecast, you would say that we would have continued cutting. The difference, of course, is at this time, all forecasters are expecting pretty soon that some significant inflation will show up from tariffs. Now, and we can't just ignore that, but we're just saying let's wait and see more. That's all we're doing. And if you will have noticed, a substantial majority of the committee has written down rate cuts in the remaining 4 years, four meetings this year. So it's just a question of being prudent and careful. But at a time when the labor market is still strong, we don't see weakness in the labor market. If we did, that would change things. You know, we're going to continue to adapt as the data adapt. But that is the difference between then and now. Then inflation was forecasted to continue to come down. Here it's forecasted to go up by all forecasters. So, and again, we're not overreacting to that. We're just saying, hey, let's, as long as you.
Listen to what he says right here.
A substantial majority of the committee has written down rate cuts in the remaining 4 years, four meetings this year. So it's just a question of being prudent and careful. But
prudent and careful, guys. That's the reason why every other country has lowered the interest rate. All our competitors are paying less on their goods, are paying less when they finance those goods than we are here in the United States. All thanks to this bozo. Man, that's just crazy. Now we're going to get into some California craziness. I thought this was interesting. You know, if you're in California, your gas costs are going up on July 1st. Republicans put forth a bill that would stop this from happening, and Democrats, they have the supermajority here in California, said, nope, we're going to keep increasing cost to low income and middle class families here. And I just thought this, Brian Jones put this out, and it said the Newsom administration sent out this memo about their July 1st gas tax increase. Start saving for higher prices at the pump. And it goes through and it tells you what they are. Effective July 1st, 2025, 61.2 cents for gasoline. Diesel is 46.6, aircraft jet fuel 2 cents, and aviation gasoline 19 cents. And look at how, I mean, this is just, I don't know if you want to talk about the irony, but I just think that this is just amazing. Look at the governor's response. Yes, the 1.6 cent increase on July 1st you're highlighting was approved by the legislature in 2017 and by voters in 2018 before Gavin Newsom even took office. It's part of the automatic inflation adjustment in Prop 6, which Californians overwhelmingly choose to protect by rejecting its repeal. Nothing in there. Nothing in there says, you know what? We need to do something about the gas prices in California. They're sometimes $2 more a gallon than other states. It's a California problem. It's a Democrat problem. It's not a president problem. Haha, thank you so much. Haha, just donated on Venmo. She has some entries now into our raffle. I know she wants to win because I know Robert wants that Trump 2028 hat. I know that. Thank you, haha. Appreciate you. So again, guys, this is what we're seeing through and through. And listen to this. We have more and more companies that are paying taxes in California leaving. And this one should be a big hit to Hair Gel Newsom. Take a look at this Los Angeles Times article. Hair care company John Paul Mitchell to move headquarters from California to Texas. Why are all these companies choosing to run to Texas? Is it because they're business friendly environment? Yeah. Is it because less regulations, less taxes? Yeah. This is just another company among many that we have watched. Not just go to Texas. We see them go other places. We see them go right onside the other border to Arizona. I don't know where he's going to have to get his hair gel shipped in from Texas now. Now, this is probably going to be, you do not want to turn this off. This is probably going to see the most embarrassing thing for Democrats. And you're going to ask yourself, because Carl DeMaio has been up there actually speaking the truth for the constituents. and listen to this video. It's 7 minutes long. Look how rudely and how many times he's interrupted when he's trying to spread facts about what the Democrats are doing. You're not going to believe this. Take a listen to this. This is all political theater, and these people need to be held accountable either politically or some other means. Take a look.
A missed opportunity. That's the best I can say about this resolution. A missed opportunity. The worst I can say about the resolution is that it's inflammatory, it is dishonest, it is divisive, and it is a shame. I've said time and time again on this floor that I will never vote in favor of one of these honorary resolutions if it contains dishonesty, if it divides us, or if it speaks in a manner that does not reflect the views of my constituents. My constituents, the caucus I'm a member of, the Republican caucus, and all Californians, we value, we respect,
watch what
we
happens.
Affirm our LGBT community members. That is a fact, notwithstanding some of the inflammatory rhetoric I've heard to the contrary. But that's not what this resolution does. This resolution doesn't affirm, value, and respect the LGBT community. What this resolution does is it goes much further than that to endorse very controversial and extremist policy positions, which is very unique.
Mr. DeMaio,
It's very,
Mr. DeMaio, just
Yes,
a moment,
Mr.
please.
Speaker.
Watch this.
Just a moment. Mr. Reading Clerk, can you hold Mr. DeMaio's time? Sorry, I have a very important announcement today. Mr. Juan Carrillo, I understand it's your birthday today. Members, will you join me in wishing Mr. Carrillo a very happy birthday today?
They want to talk about bullying. I want you to watch this. They're interrupting a speaker to talk about somebody's birthday. This is not the only time. Watch.
Wishing you many happy returns, Mr. Carrillo. Enjoy your day. Mr. DeMaio, you may continue.
And thank you for holding my time. So where we left off
Watch.
about the extremist views that are endorsed in this resolution, which includes ending girls' sports, the integrity of girls' sports, that is included in this resolution. That is not supported even by a majority of LGBT community members, let alone California voters. This resolution divides us when it should be uniting us. Can you imagine a time? And if you truly are being honest with yourself as a gay community member, if I had told you 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that there will be a time in California where Republican politicians and Democrat politicians will unanimously put a yes vote on the record, not just lay off, but put a yes vote on the record in favor of a pride resolution, you'd say that's impossible. But my friends, we could do that here today, but you chose not to. I offered the author
Mr. DeMaio, just one moment, please. Just a moment.
Are we going to have another birthday?
Excuse me, Mr. DeMaio. Just a moment. Mr. Reading Clerk, can you hold Mr. DeMaio's time? Members, you'll have to forgive me, but on Thursday last week, I forgot it was Damon Connolly's birthday. Can you please join me in welcoming a very happy birthday for Mr. Damon Connolly? We love you, Mr. Connolly. We love you so much. Mr. DeMaio, please continue.
Look, all the interruptions don't change the fact that this resolution lets down the LGBT community. We could have achieved a historic vote today. It will be misrepresented
that Republicans don't support the LGBT community. In fact, we heard that in some of the comments on this resolution. They want to, quote, disappear LGBT people. They want to enact laws to force gays into conversion therapy. These are quotes from the comments just made on this floor. They're also lies designed to instill fear in the hearts of LGBT community members at a time when this country, this state, we should be celebrating with pride, real pride, the fact that Americans, Californians, that we've achieved the embrace of the LGBT community without question. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to agree on laws like ending girls' sports or taking away parents' rights or having a standard that a foster parent has to agree to a sex change operation, which are controversial positions that unfortunately are referenced and implied in this resolution.
Mr. DeMaio, I'm going to have to interrupt you one more time, if you don't mind, sir. If you wouldn't mind waiting, Mr. Reading Clerk, can you hold this time? Members, I'm unsure if you're aware, but tomorrow is Mr. Gibson's birthday. Can you all join me in wishing Mr. Gibson a very, very happy birthday? Happy birthday, Mr. Gibson. Happy birthday. We love you. Mr. DeMaio, you have 1 minute and 4 seconds remaining. Members, your decorum, please. Please continue, Mr. DeMaio.
Man, I'm just going to tell you right now. I got to watch what I say here. That dude needs to be backhanded. Again, this is what a super majority does, is interrupt an elected member so that he can play shenanigans during the taxpayers' time. He was sent there to represent us. You are interrupting the taxpayer. That's what you are doing with your sick and disgusting filth known as your pride. And it's going to backfire. It's going to backfire. God will win. God will win. But I cannot believe we allow this to go on. That one, when I watched that one got my blood pressure up because it's all a game to them, guys. It's all a game to them. And until the voters wake up, and this is why they're so worried about putting out these illegals, getting these illegals out of the state, because they're probably, 20% of the state of California's population. Once they can get these illegals out, Republicans will win elections in California. If you look at and this was the worst thing that a former president did, who was also a former governor of the state of California. Ronald Reagan's amnesty officially switched California from a red to a blue state. Go look at the history. And unfortunately, these people came in here for the American dream, but brought their values from their foreign country. And look at what it's done to California. We're going to talk more about that. We're going to talk about how bad it is in California. And I just think this is insane. When you have California, Alex Villanueva said the hits for the puppet of the LA County Sheriff Luna keep coming. Remember the other day, Sheriff Luna, the Los Angeles County Sheriffs, said that our hearts go out to the victims of the bombing in Iran, and then they had to come back and clarify everything. He has a staffing crisis. They have no fire evacuation plans. The CAD system is failing. Feckless riot response is what Alex put up here. He has Iran Gate is what they're calling it, where they're standing with Iran instead of the United States. And now a 911 system failure. This is California. This is LA. This is how things happen in California. And these people that were elected to represent you in California would rather interrupt multiple times during someone's speech because they're speaking the truth. It says Monday, June 23rd, 1651 hours. Sergeant Daniel Hoyas advised that the majority of Los Angeles Sheriff Department patrol stations, 911 emergency lines are down. AT&T is currently working on repairing the system. And I think I got another one. I'm going to see if I got another one here that I saved yesterday that I didn't pull up today. Maybe it's under Los Angeles. Maybe I didn't save it. Look at, again, everything's fine in LA. Nothing's a problem. We can continue facilitating these illegal aliens and giving them health care and everything else. LA City Controller says that officials are preparing to declare a fiscal emergency due to several factors, and over 600 layoffs are on the table. Again, this is from KTLA 5. They're not some right-wing network. It says Los Angeles City Controller says that officials are preparing to declare a fiscal emergency due to several factors, and over 600 layoffs are on the table. City Controller Kenneth Mejia stated late Monday night that massive liability payouts, overspending, and revenue shortfalls are the main reasons behind the fiscal emergency declaration. Imagine that. Overspending. In order to balance the budget, 614 layoffs are on the table. The city will do its best to transfer employees to fill vacant positions. Check this out. Mejia's post includes a bar graph breakdown, the layoffs by department of the 614 and anticipated job cuts, 248 under the police civilians category. Other employees described as personnel made up the largest chunk of layoffs with 57. So police, civilians, 248 layoffs, personnel, 57 layoffs, sanitation. It's already a shithole in LA. They're going to have 44 layoffs. 4 sworn firefighters, 41 layoffs. We just seen that they didn't have what they needed. We already heard the fact that when the mayor of LA was in Guam, knowing damn well that there was a high plausibility for a major fire in her area, nothing was staged, nothing was ready. So 41 layoffs in fire. Information technology, 34 layoffs. General service, 33 layoffs. Transportation, 29 layoffs. Let's see. Street services, 24. City planning, 14. Look at all this. Street lighting, 8 layoffs. I almost want to go to and do a walk around stream in LA. It's been about a year since we did it. But you can literally, because it's funny that they have street lighting in there. You can literally walk down blocks and blocks where most of the street lights are out. And nothing's being done. Speaking of that, and we'll go kind of play back and forth. Yesterday, we covered the Supreme Court stating that these convicted criminals can now be deported back to a country that is not their home country. If there's a reason why they can't go back to their home country, that we have the right to send them somewhere else. Guess what? We have a district court judge defying that order. I want you to listen to Stephen Miller here.
The only thing I have to share tonight, Sean, in a little bit of breaking news, is that
Your reaction, this court decision is massive, Steve.
Yes, this is an incredible victory, the Supreme Court win. It allows President Trump, as the law has long said, but the courts have blocked, it allows President Trump to send illegal aliens convicted of rape, murder, homicide, assault, battery, crimes against children to any country around the world that is willing to accept them. So whether that be South Sudan, or whether it be Somalia, or whether it be Ethiopia, any country in the world that is willing to accept these monsters, we can get them out of our country and be free of them forever. The only thing I have to share tonight, Sean, in a little bit of breaking news, is that the district court judge in Boston has said he's going to defy the Supreme Court's ruling. So expect fireworks tomorrow when we hold this judge accountable for refusing to obey the Supreme Court.
Your reaction, this court.
So again, a district court judge going against And he also put this up. A Boston judge has halted the deportation of illegal aliens convicted of child rape and murder. Finally, the Supreme Court stepped in and halted the judge's lawless edict. Late last night, the Boston judge claimed authority to overrule the Supreme Court and defied the court's order. How come Democrats aren't screaming? There was a Supreme Court order. I'll double check really quick and see if they've done anything today, but it sounded like today was going to be fire. Let's see if anything has happened. DOJ has officially classified the Boston federal judge defying a 6-3 Supreme Court order an act of insurrection. This is what I want to see from the administration. Let me see if there's more to this. Yeah, check a look at this. Last night, hours after the Supreme Court 6-3 blocked a Boston district judge's lawless preliminary injunction preventing the government from removing the worst of the worst illegal aliens to third countries, the district judge announced business as usual and said its orders enforcing the injunction remained in effect. When a single district judge immediately and flagrantly defies the Supreme Court, that is not rule of law. It's an Article 3 insurrection. And that's coming from Chief of Staff from the Department of Justice. So we're going to follow up on this. I want to see arrest. I want to see that man behind bars. Again, we actually have an insurrection here. Crazy. We have all these people that are standing up for illegal aliens. If they just put 10% of the effort that they're putting into illegal aliens, into American citizens, your life would be so much better right now. We wouldn't be facing half the hurdles we face in America. Check this out. Denver, Colorado is pausing an extension for its license plates reading cameras until city leaders are satisfied the data won't be used to round up illegal aliens. It's okay if they gather this data on you for any reason whatsoever. But if it's gathered on illegal aliens, they're going to stop this. This is insanity, guys. But we took you to Denver. We showed you what's going on in Denver. Absolute shit.
With the ATF.
Take a look.
Loveland police say the ATF came to town. This story starts with a bro, not a bro, a.bro, and how someone whose name starts that way is conducting searches on the Loveland Police Department's Flock account and listing the reason as ICE.
I can't begin to tell you how concerning this is to me.
Flock cameras are those automated license plate readers, taking pictures of each plate and putting it into a network. Unless cities, counties, or agencies opt out, the network shares data with thousands of other law enforcement. Immigration agents are not supposed to have direct access to the network, but they may be getting it from local law enforcement. Flock says they're not controlling how agencies share access.
It is not the responsibility of a private vendor to be policing the police.
Loveland police say a bro is not one of their officers. In fact, they say the search under their account was conducted by an officer with the ATF. Loveland police say the ATF came to town to help them on the Tesla vandalism case, and they gave them their Flock access.
Any police department can just say, no, we're not sharing with anybody.
An audit of national Flock searches shows a bro using Loveland's account ran 6 searches in late April, and in the column for the search reason, wrote ICE. When we asked, Loveland police said that the ATF had its own Flock account.
By the way, ATF is not a customer of Flock.
Loveland police also added it doesn't monitor the ATF's activity on it, though it can.
If there are ATF agents who can go into the Flock system as a Loveland user, that means they automatically have full access to all plate images in Denver.
Denver City Councilwoman Sarah Parody is pushing for Denver to immediately end its contract with Flock. The city voted last month not to renew a contract beyond 2025. Denver shares its data with 86 agencies, including Loveland.
It does confirm what we were most worried about.
Parody fears ICE agents could get into the network and track people down.
These entire city councils doing more, spending more of your tax dollars to protect criminal illegal aliens than anything else. We have these camera readers all over Clovis. I'm going to tell you right now, Clovis is where I live, is one of the most surveilled cities in the world. And I say that facetiously, but we have cameras at our intersection. I have my police scanner right here. When someone commits a crime, they're like, we have them on the camera at Shaw and Minnewawa. They'll be heading eastbound. And it's okay for the government to track Americans, law-abiding citizens, but as soon as we track illegal aliens, we have an issue with it. Think about that for a moment. How about this? Alex Padilla, the same one that cried about trying to storm a press conference that nobody knew who he was. A $275 billion hit to our economy, $23 billion in lost tax revenue, devastated industries, mass deportation, and Californians aren't just cruel, they'd be catastrophic. Once again, another elected politician here in California admitting that California's fourth largest economy in the world is a fake economy based on illegal alien slave labor. They're saying it, not me. $275 billion. Well, you know what? If we drop to the 30th largest economy in the world, I'm okay with that if we get what we voted for. It's ridiculous. How about this one? Listen to, it's a short video clip. Listen to what the owner of La Soledad Bakery says, and look at what the mayor, Karen Bass, nods her head in agreement with. You know what? Let me refresh this.
I can be dressed as a cop.
Exactly.
And just go kidnap people. And now I can be dressed as a cop.
Exactly.
And just go kidnap people. And
he could be dressed as a cop and just go kidnapping people. And she says, exactly. These are the same mayors. Honestly, Mayor Karen Bass is communist scum. I'm going to tell you, there's nice areas in Los Angeles, but the city itself is crap. It has gone downhill. Nobody wants to go there. The only reason people go there, again, for tourist purposes is because of what was there long before Mayor Karen Bass was there. And it's just disgusting. But hey, guys, don't forget, we have a raffle we're going to be doing this week. If you guys want to jump in, remember, we are 100% viewer funded. Our lights, camera, action, our travel, our hotel, our food, when we're traveling, is all covered by you thanks to your donations. And so we have a raffle going on to help get some of the bills caught up. If you guys want to donate, each $10 entry gets you one entry. So if you do $30, that's 3 entries. Let me show you what we got. We got a souvenir from DC for the Army Parade when we were down there for celebrating 250th birthday of our U.S. Army. We got this hat. We got the great Trump 2028 hat. This is trigger warning. Trigger warning. And after I'm done, I will tell you something, how bad this does work. You get that. We got the Trump fight magnet. This is a nice one. I like that one. We got a double extra large 250 Army shirt that was picked up at the event in DC last weekend. You got that. And we also got, my sister donated this from when she went to the Gulf of America. This is a large Gulf of America shirt, established since 2025. And if you guys want to get in, again, you can use Venmo at OreoJosh, Cash App, $Oreo Army, GiveSendGo.com/Oreo2024. You can also do Rumble rants on here. And we got, if you do mobile or online banking, we have our Zelle link on our website. You can go to theoreoexpress.com and scroll down. There'll be a donate now button. And again, we appreciate the blessings. We appreciate you guys keeping us on the air for so long. And just a big shout out and a thank you for those who help us out and get us moving on to the next month. Now, a quick story before I end the show. So the other day, we ran to Costco. Was it Sunday? I think it was Sunday. No, it was probably Saturday. I needed to get out of the house. I wasn't feeling well, and I was like, I just want to go. Maybe it was Sunday. It was Sunday. And so we go to Costco. And I'm not triggered by a lot, guys. A lot of things that happened to me, like the attack by Trans Tifa and everything, it rolls off my back. You know, I'm used to it. I'm used to the fake news articles where a lot of people are like, aren't you mad? Blah, blah, blah. Well, that's the same thing when people go out and they try to get under my skin. It actually works against them. I'm happy they're doing that because I know I'm triggering them. Well, we're walking down the aisle in Costco. And sometimes I'm a typical guy and I don't listen to much. And Rachel said, did you hear what he said? And I was like, yeah. And I didn't hear anything. Telling on myself. And so Caden, Linda, our great patriot in Northern California, near Christmas, got him a shirt, and it looks like a suit. And then in the left pocket, or the left side, it has a Trump button, what looks like a Trump, and it says Trump button. And Caden was wearing that. He loves that shirt. And I had my Trump 2028 hat on. I wasn't walking as close to Rachel. It was Rachel and Caden. And so he says, that's sad, that kid in that shirt, is what somebody said. I didn't hear it. And, or how sad, a kid in a Trump shirt. And Rachel's like, said something about it. And I was like, who? And she pointed, and I'm looking, and I didn't see anybody. And then I seen like a 19-year-old kid, and I'm like, I'm not going to go punk a 19-year-old kid. You know, they're just trash. And so we're walking through the store, and about 6-7 minutes go by, and she goes, I want to see if that guy's down this aisle. And I was like, what guy? She goes, the guy that said that to Caden. Like she's frustrated by it. And I'm like, and then she goes, I think that was him pushing the cart. I was like, wait, he works here at Costco? And this is a Costco we're in probably twice a week. I know many of the employees there. It's 2 miles away from the house. And he goes, yeah. And I was like, point him out to me. And so here he comes walking down the aisle. And I look at his name tag, and his name was Robert. And he kind of goes like this, and he's pushing this cart, and he goes around where I am. I'm like, hey, and he ignores me. But I read the thing. And he's walking past us, say, Robert. And I said it loud enough so other employees could hear that I was saying his name. And he goes, yeah. And so I went up and I had some choice words for him, let's just say. And I told him, I said, I dare you to do it right here in front of me. Be a man. Be a man and watch. You're going to find out. And, I didn't say that. And I was like, so you're calling my wife a liar, right? Well, no. And I was like, I want to warn you, I'm in here all the time, and I don't care if I lose my Costco membership. And it was just funny. And it took her kind of getting me pumped up, because honestly, a whole lot of stuff don't bother me. And I'm numb to it. I've been doing it for so long, but it was just funny. And it's sad that, again, because most of those people, it wasn't even the next aisle. Another Costco employee said, love your hat, bro. Where'd you get that hat? Talking about the Trump 2028 hat, which you could win if you get into our raffle. So just a funny story. And I said, you know what? I told Rachel when we were walking out, I go, I'll never forget that guy's face. When we're in here next time, I guarantee he won't say a damn word. He won't even look. But just a funny story. Once again, we will be live in a few hours, probably in about 3.5 hours. We try to do it about 3 o'clock Pacific time. We'll give you some updates from some of the hearings that went on today. We'll give you some updates on the breaking news, and also follow up on that Boston judge who is going against the Supreme Court 6-3 ruling. We'll bring you that and more, and all the breaking stuff. Once again, please hit your like button if you haven't yet. Share this out. Thank you once again for tuning in. I appreciate you all, and you guys Have a very blessed afternoon. And don't forget to have your notifications on. If you're not getting notifications, follow us on Twitch or Kick, K-I-C-K, or Twitch. You can pull up the app on your phone or your computer, follow Oreo Express, turn on your notifications. They're some of the better ones when it comes to notifying people. So have a great day, and we will see you soon.
I hear every day about the products you all wish MyPillow carried. Well, guess what? We probably do. Slippers, bathrobes, pet beds, blankets, mattresses, sleepwear, loungewear, duvets, comforters, pot holders, aprons, oven mitts, and so much more. And they're all on sale. For example, get our best-selling standard MyPillows for only $14.98. Body pillows, $29.98. 6-piece bath towels or kitchen towel sets, just $29.98. Multi-use MyPillow 2.0s with pillowcase, $9.98. Save $40 on our Spring Percale and Giza Dream bedsheet sets. Any size, any color, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save up to 80% on all MyPillow products. And I've never done this before. When you spend $100 or more, you're going to get 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free.
Well, hop aboard the Oreo Express, where truth don't hide and we don't second guess. Unapologetic, we're bold and we're loud, shining light on the left shady crowd. Oreo Express, rolling down the track, exposing the lies, ain't no turning back. Conservative fire, we're speaking the truth. At Oreo Express, this one's for you. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll, let's go. So grab your boots, let's take a stand for freedom, faith, and the heart of this land. Oreo Express, let's roll.